sorry, the number you have dialed is not in service at this time.
I just choked down chocolate chip cookies and Grandpa's femur. Femur.
We make money now?
No, we had to pay
So
them.
this episode, it's just too slippery. I'm slicing everything.
Every time I swing my 5-iron, it goes up that guy's ass.
Welcome to the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's your host, Jim and Foo.
I don't know. What do you think, Llama Party? He'd be like, not tonight. You know, my mom, blah, blah, blah. And then,
but I really need to get my dick shocked on the fence, bro.
And then, like, the next weekend, be like, what's going on tonight? Llama Party? He'd be like, yeah, fuck it. Let's do a Llama Party. And we'd all show up there, and there would be like 15, 20 of us hanging out, drinking, listening to music.
What'd you burn?
Wood?
Well,
I don't know.
I figured it wouldn't be titanium.
well, that's a kind
Did
of
you
a
have to
weird
go
question.
get firewood, or are you burning fucking chairs from Grandma's house type of shit?
No, I think there was firewood down there, so I don't even know where the wood came from. I just showed up and there was a fire.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, there was lots of funny shit that happened at the Llama Parties. Funny. And then, so, one of the funny things was, everybody knew except people who were new to the Llama Party, and then I would get asked to tell the joke every time.
Okay.
So the joke was, 2 penguins are taking a shower.
Okay.
One penguin drops the soap, turns to the other penguin and says, hey, can you get the soap for me? And the other penguin would turn around and be like, what do I look like, a clock? Right? That's not really fucking funny at all.
Right.
So there's various ways you could look at this joke, but the bottom line is really not that funny.
Okay.
But the people who knew about the joke fucking would just die laughing like it was the most funniest shit. But all the new people would be like,
I don't get it.
what? Then they felt like dumb because they didn't get the joke.
Yeah.
And everybody else was dying laughing. So.
Was it that the joke was originally told in some sort of completely inebriated form, and so it was hilarious at the time around the Llama Party fire?
I don't know where I heard the joke from somewhere, and so it's just been something that I say because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
Because it's not funny.
Right.
And so I ended up telling people, and then people, as a funny haha, like this joke sucks ass because it's not really funny, but it's funny.
Right.
And so it just became a thing. And so then, when someone new was at the Llama Party, you would tell the joke, and everybody that knew the joke would fucking die laughing. The new people would be like, I don't get it.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's like a hazing thing.
Yeah, kind of.
So we all know.
Yeah.
You're new here.
And then the new person, whenever we do the electric fence touch, always had to be on the end because that's where you got shocked the most.
Oh.
So when you had a big chain of people,
Yeah.
they would have to be on the end. So the first person would hit it and would go all the way through all the people, and the last person would just get nailed hard.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Llama Party. Here's a dumb joke, and you got to touch the fence.
Oh.
Yeah. So we had a lot of good times out there.
Yeah, that sounds fun.
Yeah, I mean, we did some of our own country shit.
We would just go to Clementine and watch John Ledford dig a fucking hole in the sandbar.
What? He would just dig a hole at the beach?
We would get so hammered on like vodka and Red Ruby Squirt and like camping.
Uh-huh.
And then it would usually end up in John taking his like military camping spade and like just digging this like hole. The fact that none of us in completely drunken states ever stepped in this thing
and died or broke a leg.
Right, is absolutely amazing because he would just dig this thing around the fire pit.
Uh-huh. So wait, he dug a moat around the fire pit?
No, he would just dig like wherever he was sitting and
that's where he dug the hole.
He would just dig it right between his legs, just this giant fucking hole.
Like every time?
Yeah. It's just to occupy time while we were goofing off and drinking and just garbage. Whatever shenanigans, he'd just start digging a hole, and then half the time I don't remember who filled it, but it would always be covered.
Put it back up.
Anyway,
well,
no electric fence, but
well,
holes to China.
Yeah,
courtesy of John Ledford.
That's hilarious. Well, hey, welcome to episode 60 of the Sad Dads Club Pop. I can't talk.
If you get halfway through the episode or even part of the way, you'll recognize that I'm having voice issues of my own.
Yeah.
As I struggle. So, your tongue-tiedness and my voice lostness is...
Let's try that again. Episode 60.
Sad Dads Club podcast.
Of the Sad Dads Club, yeah.
I'm the Foo.
I'm Jim. And we got a show. We got stuff going on.
It's not a llama party, and it's not a Clementine hole to China, but it's a good podcast.
True. We even considered making shirts for the llama party. I mean, that's how many times we did it. It was like an ongoing kind of a thing.
So, what age bracket were you?
We were in our early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah, between probably 19 and maybe 24.
It's funny because a lot of those things were like, kind of like brainstorm ideas. We did the same thing. Like those were just like oh man, like the club thing, or it's just like an offshoot.
Yeah.
And now that older and with kids, Ingress has really afforded some of those opportunities with like the slogans and the the little groups, the army names and whatnots that we have for each other. It's like, let's fucking make hats.
Yeah.
The whole blob avatar thing.
Yeah.
It's like fucking some of the anomalies that we went to where we put full on blob army stuff on the back. Those are like cool, we have Sad Dads Club podcast hoodies.
Well, those that are not in the know, the way that the game is played is you cover your area, as much of your area with your color.
Right.
So we were blue, we were covering our areas with blue, and the whole theme was blob it all with blue,
right?
Basically. And so that become feed the blob.
Right.
With your blue triangles, basically, that you're making.
Yeah.
So you're feeding the blob, and then that became a thing, and then we had who was doing the artwork?
So the first one was Richard Dominguez, who was a green guy. Did a couple of the first prototypes for a number of people.
Oh, that's right. He sort of like moved from the green team.
He flipped a couple times.
Okay.
Jenna,
that's who I
did
remember.
a number of them. I did a number of them. Jenna and I collaborated on a number of them, and there are like probably a handful of...
Well, initially it started out as a generic blob with the like angry teeth face and like, eyes, and so that was like sort of the team mantra kind of thing.
Yeah.
But then everybody that was a player that was involved with the blob got their own avatar that was a blob personalized for them and their player name and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that was cool stuff. That was fun for a while.
Yeah. Anyway, so the shirts reminds me of how now that we've gotten older, it's like I think of making shirts for a lot of different random shit now. Like game stuff.
Yeah. Well, it's not hard to do with stuff like Teespring.
No, it seems like pretty ubiquitous in its ability to be a reachable resource to...
Yeah, not super expensive.
Without being expensive.
Yeah, not super expensive.
Yeah, there are a number of vendors afforded to... In any number of units.
Yeah.
You don't have to buy 50 shirts to get...
Yeah.
A prototype or even like a one-off just to say, haha, look at me, I've got a Sad Dad Warlock Destiny player gamer shirt that has no purpose to anyone but me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we've been like testing some printed shirts for us.
Yeah.
And they weren't super expensive. I want to say they were somewhere. I want to say they were around $20 or something.
Yeah.
Not terrible.
Yeah. Well, I think, and there are a number of vendors in that marketplace.
Yeah.
Because, and I think the gaming culture, specifically your streaming content creators, your YouTubes, your Facebook gaming, or, your Facebook creation, Twitch, Mixer, and a number of the whoever the other guys are, but they're probably all too low players. But a lot of those content creators, monetize through clothing merchants as well.
Yeah.
So, and there are, I would say there's probably at least 10 different vendor types where those content creators can create an online store. It's pretty much turnkey, like we would recognize something like a Yahoo or a Google Marketplace used to be.
Yeah.
And like how easy it is.
Well,
you just prop up a storefront, put your shit out there.
Made by Human or something?
Yeah. Made by Humans.
Teespring was another one, and then Cafe Press was a big
right,
one.
right. Yeah,
stuff like that.
Yeah, and they afford like a storefront, and you don't have to buy, like we would do with Ingress. We would have to put in like a monster order.
Yeah,
and it all comes in at one time. These things are like
you can onesie twosies.
Yeah.
Yep.
I want to buy one for me, and you ship to me, and that's it.
Yeah.
Not 30 of your friends, and hope all the sizes lined up.
Yeah. Did we get every size that everybody ordered?
Right. It's like neither of us want to house a wardrobe store closet in the garage.
We
somewhere.
ordered a box of smalls, a box of mediums, a box of large, a box of extras. Where are we going to put all this stuff? And then we got to fill the orders?
Yeah.
No.
Data's, open up your trunk. We're going to pull that speaker box out, and we're going to store the Sad Dad's merch.
Yeah, this is the new Sad Dad's merch closet.
We've appropriated your trunk.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that actually is a very well designed product for people that just want to sell some merch.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't cost you anything up front.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool. And you actually set the pricing, which is kind of neat.
I didn't see where their margins were, but most of them are pretty competitive with each other.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I haven't looked at enough to see what the differences in pricing was, but like I know on Teespring, they tell you this is how much it costs, and then you can set the price higher or lower as long as you're making a profit, I think.
Yeah.
They don't. You can make no money if you really want to, if you want to sell it cheap.
Yeah. And then most of the times the only thing that the end user is paying extra for is shipping, but most of them have domestic ability, and since we probably don't have, unless you know something I don't, a large international listener base. Hashtag we love you anyway.
Well, that's, it is what it is.
Yeah.
We're a young, struggling podcast, darn it.
Yeah. So we'll get a store out there
at some point
soon.
Yeah. We're working on something.
Pro-y.
I've had people ask, actually, so we're it just takes time.
Yeah. It was a holiday weekend.
It was a holiday weekend.
Yeah. I went to Disneyland.
I know that you were excited to go to Disneyland.
I was.
For the new Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Star Wars land.
Yes. So I will say right now, before we get into that,
okay,
I need thank yous out of the way for the people that took care of my dogs, my four-legged children. Kim, my sister-in-law, and my brother, and the two their kids, Carrie and Jadzia, that came and fed the dogs, Kim specifically. But they also came over the course of the weekend, and they walked the dogs, and we got a really nice picture of the girls walking Armageddon.
That's funny.
Which is surprising and thankful because he's such an old man about it nowadays, but I'm sure he was excited to get out of the house.
Yeah.
And we had told Kim a story about how, he'll really want to leave and go with you, but really he's just happy to get to the end of the driveway and be like, fuck it, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good. I just wanted to get outside with the rest of them.
I'm out here.
Jax and Shiny will be more than happy to go on a walk.
Mm-hmm.
But Armageddon is really excited to participate in the harnessing and the exiting towards the driveway. The rest, it's like a coin flip as to whether or not he has any fucks to give about exercise.
So let me ask you, did he actually partake?
Yeah. I mean, they walked. They did the whole thing, as far as I know. He didn't send the girls back. But it was really nice to see that. And Data's came by and fed the dogs as well. So thank you to my in-law and my brothers and the two little girls, my nieces, and Data's for helping take care of the dogs.
Did Data's feed and have a big party at your house?
Data's did not. To the best of my knowledge, he did not have a party.
I mean,
he did mention that Shiny, my BJJ training skills to Shiny were successful in getting him into some sort of omoplata submission hold as he tried to tie his shoes.
Yeah.
She, swept the leg kind of shit.
Yep. That's funny stuff.
But at the best of my knowledge, no party was handled here.
Oh, just my house.
It apparently was just your house.
Nice.
Your house.
Right.
So, yes, thank you for that. So, my Disneyland experience.
So, yeah, how was that? Because I will say this. I was impressed, and I just hope that you were as impressed as I was.
I was.
Okay.
I was.
Right.
So the churros.
Let's get to the real shit.
So yeah, the churros.
Fuck Alzie's ass.
Because if I don't put this up front, I feel like I could talk about churros the rest of the thing. So we had a horchata style churro.
Okay. Which I love horchata.
I do too, and it's cinnamon based, so it wasn't far off a churro, but it was a dip. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was good. We had I want to say it was a toffee one that was in Tomorrowland. I don't know if it had a specific type of sprinkle, but it was like a chocolate toffee dip. And
now, do they sell those in addition to the normal churros?
You can find the normal churro stands sprinkled out throughout, but there are a few locations and a few
just
carts
do the weird ones
that have the specialty ones.
Okay.
So Tomorrowland had the toffee one, Frontier, whatever the one that's by the carousel, and it's the entrance towards the tube ride. Over whatever the Splash Bear, not
Splash Mountain,
not Splash Mountain,
the
Whitewater Rapids, the big donut that you ride down the rapids.
In California Adventure, Grizzly River.
Yes, that one. So there was a stand over right by that entrance that had the horchata ones. But I went back for seconds, which is by far my favorite one, is the Caliente churros from the Buzz Lightyear stand.
Jeez.
It is still my favorite churro.
It's funny because when I went last time and you were like, did you get a churro? And I'm like, no. And I don't know that I even ever got a churro. You know what I mean?
So it's the Caliente one, and I wonder if that puts people off because they think it's...
Is it spicy?
Like jalapeno spicy. It's cinnamon bear red hot. Like hot tamales.
Yeah.
So if you like those, the kind of red hot cinnamon candy, that's what these are.
So it's like hardcore cinnamon flavor.
Yes, and it's red. It's where you would roll the churro in like the cinnamon dust, and they roll it and then sprinkle it on there and then give it to you in the thing. It's a red, and I replicated it.
Is it a red churro with red dust?
No,
in it?
It's a normal churro with a red dust.
Okay.
It's red hot put in some sort of blender or something, and that's the dust. And we went and bought cake stuff on Monday when we got back. Sunday when we got back, but Monday we went to the grocery store and I bought a thing of like decorating cake red hots.
Okay.
And put it in
the hard ones.
Yeah. And put it in a coffee bean grinder, a spice grinder, and made it into a dust, and bink.
That tastes exactly the same.
It's the shit. So the next time I make churros, I'm taking that thing back out, and I'm going to dust it, and I'm going to be a happy camper.
Okay.
So, the best churro.
All right.
The Caliente churros from the Buzz Lightyear stand on the Pixar Pier.
I have to go back and try them.
Right. And if you don't like the candy, then it's probably not gonna be your
speed.
No,
I dig the candy, but I think last time it was a situation where it was like, I have to get over there, and I got there not knowing they closed the churro stands at 10. And I got there like 5 after 10. And
here's the thing too with those style of churros. Well, I get that some of them, like the dip, I don't want to carry a dip. I don't want to have to. I just want to eat it.
Yeah.
I just want to shove it in my face like a dirty old man and just consume it.
Right.
And then what happens is you get the little bag as the red hot dust, and then that's like the leftover party. And it was so nice. Oh, it's so nice. I love it so much.
So is that hands down the best part of Disneyland? Is the churros?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're really good though. It's high on the list. Like top. It's high.
It's top 2.
It's top 2 at least.
Okay.
So if you're a listener and you haven't been and you don't want to be spoiled by it, because you didn't really spoil much for me.
I tried not to. So I wanted you to experience it without any.
So if you're a listener and you don't and you want a firsthand experience, now would be the time in which you
fast forward.
Yeah, you want to fast forward till later.
Yeah.
Because I'll unload. It was amazing. There is nothing outside of the external decoration of the Guardians of the Galaxy Hotel the drop ride. There is nothing else in either park that is as immersive as the Galaxy's Edge decor and shop setup.
Yeah, that land's way bigger than I thought it was going to be.
From the set pieces to the cast that's roaming around.
Mm-hmm.
It made me feel like a kid.
Yeah.
It was really fun.
Yeah.
There was a lot of little oh, I get that.
Yeah.
If you're a person that has wandered around the park and you had never found someone like a cast member in a suit, like a Minnie or Mickey or a Buzz Lightyear, or if you're in California Disney and you're looking for like a one of the Marvel characters or something, or a Toy Story character, and you hadn't seen one, I had always seen at any given point in time some sort of skit or a cast member making like a rotation in Galaxy's Edge, whether it was Rey, Chewbacca, the Stormtroopers, Kylo Ren with his little brigade of Stormtroopers, some sort of thing going on at the TIE fighter thing, that was going on. There was always a cast member doing something.
Yeah.
Even if you're not a fan,
yeah,
of the Star Wars machine,
yeah,
it was still like kind of being able to take you back to being a little bit smaller when it was okay to have fun and be a little bit more childish, because all of these immersive kid and youthful things were happening around you.
Yeah,
it was hard to not feel like a kid.
I mean, I wanted to go up to the doors and press, just to see if they did anything, press all the buttons that are all lit up and flashing next to all the doors.
Yeah.
Did you notice that too?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And
all the
Xander did.
Panels and
he would
shit.
go up to the panels and be like, does it, things are flashing.
Now, that's the only disappointment I had, is I wanted those buttons to button.
If they would just interact?
Yeah, just button and light up. That's all you got to do. You don't have to make sounds. Just as you press them, light up.
Yeah.
And that was my only disappointment, was those panels were non-functional from that regard.
And if you're a someone like a cosplay person, someone that's put together any sort of props or suits like I have in the past, or Argonaut, I'm sure probably would enjoy, even if he's not a Star Wars person or if the family isn't. There was almost like a subset of genre of, wow, I wonder how they built that.
Yeah.
Because there was, a lot of it is just like the superficial, what does it take to make this look like this, without actually putting together a functional droid.
Yeah.
So the prop making and cosplay aspect of a lot of the set pieces and the environments was, I spent a number of times just the whole little speeder thing that they have set up to the side. The amount of little knickknacks.
Yeah.
What's in that toolbox back there?
Yeah.
And, nothing was a wrench.
Yeah.
It was a wrench that had a thing on it that was cobbled together from a thing. It was the imagination.
It was some magical tool that they had dreamed up.
Oh, man. And, the auditory signals of random, you're listening to a radio station of a random planet where they're just covering the news, or a random pod race or something. The attention to detail,
the blaster marks in all the buildings, right?
Just what would have hit this?
Yeah.
I don't know. And
Jeez, why
it would
they...
spawn conversation between Xander and I. It was just well, I wonder who shot that.
Yeah,
what kind of battle happened here?
I was really impressed with the ride. What's it called?
The Millennium Falcon ride?
Yeah, the Millennium Falcon ride, when you're standing in the queue.
Yeah.
And there's the parts on the ship inside that queue are moving. Did you notice that?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shit, that's that stuff's moving around. And
I think it's talking the engine that was inside the hangar bay?
Yeah, and there was like a flap, like the
Yes.
thing that makes it turn, and that thing starts moving around,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there's
yeah.
like a dialogue going on.
Yeah, there was like we're running a test.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh.
And then you start seeing
and
shit move around.
I'm running a test on top of the vent.
Yeah.
And it opens or shuts, and the guy's like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was impressive.
Yeah.
And then when you walk into the ride and there's the part where he's talking to you, but it's an animatronic guy.
Yes.
At first I was like, that's a person. Like I didn't realize it was an animatronic.
Oh, Hondo.
Yeah. I was
yeah.
like, oh shit, that's animatronic. That looks fucking real.
Yeah.
I mean, the movement and everything, like all that.
He did. Who walks? No, it was him. He walks over and he does something on the.
Yeah.
I go, look at the way his fingers, like it was a fluid.
Yes.
It wasn't like.
Yeah. It wasn't like.
He was like moving.
That's why I'm saying I thought at the first I was like.
Armature was just absolutely bonkers.
I was like, that's a fucking real person. And
Yeah.
I go, there's no way they're going to have a real person in here doing this all day long. And I go, no, that's a animatronic. No shit. That looks
was
like
nuts.
fucking real.
Yeah.
I was impressed. There was a lot of detail in that land.
And I think if I was to be fair to what came before, I think a lot of that set the bar was the Guardians of the Galaxy ride. The amount of detail and like stuff as you walk through the queue,
yeah.
you know, all the little props and the stuff that's on the outside, it's intense as far as like all the little knickknacks and the story building.
Disney has always done a really good job. Look at the what's the ride with the Jeeps?
The Jeeps.
Yeah.
The Indiana Jones
ride.
Right.
That
too.
That ride's been there for a long time, and you walk through there, and there's interactive shit all in that. Don't step on the
trap door. Yeah.
These spots, and there's like a post you can move that causes shit to happen, and there's a piece of rope in the well, and the guy's working in the well, and you can hear him talking, and if you pull on the rope, it causes problems for him.
Yeah.
You know, you hear, and it's all interactive. Someone yanks on that rope, and it causes a big crash.
Yeah.
I mean, they have always really done such a good job with all that immersive, like, we're putting you into something that Indiana Jones would have been around. And it's like, okay, I mean, I'm buying into it. It almost feels like all that shit's going to fall on me, you know, or whatever it is. I'm impressed. And Disneyland, the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge area, just exceeded my expectations.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's like Tomorrowland on like the biggest steroids ever.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was
Very
tons
impressive.
of stuff,
Yeah.
and you could spend you could just wander around without.
Yeah, we went back a couple times just looking at stuff, and then go to ride a ride, and then come back out and go look at stuff. And did you get your lightsaber?
I did.
Nice.
That was so we did the droids. Both the kids made a droid. As a sad dad that's paying for things, are they worth the price that was paid? Probably not.
Right.
But the engagement and the act of doing it, and the building and being in a place that's like I don't think you can put a price on that. So it was like I have no problems with it. Both of them had fun. Both of them made their own.
Yeah.
You know, they were unique to them. Each of them named their droid. They chased the dogs around the house with them, and they beep bopped. It was,
Nice.
So no complaints.
Yeah.
And it was an immersive thing as well. Now, if you're a person that's like, well, how do they take your money, that kind of stuff. The cashier part of it, you're not being talked to by someone that's playing that's acting. So transactions are all happening, but you get to stay in. I'm making a droid as much as you want to afford your imagination to.
Sure.
The lightsaber thing. I was the only one that built a lightsaber. Once you get into like the corral where they discuss the actual before like the ante room to the building arena, the guy is in character where he's explaining the parts and what you're gonna like the pre-build part, so that you're not completely caught off guard, and because they're rotating people through there. He's in character, so he's telling you, and he's also referring to a lot of stuff as scrap metal, because relative to the immersion, the Resistance is off the grid, and Kylo Ren is running around, so the Imperials and the First Order are running around, and they're trying to find some sort of spy that's running around. And it had just happened that there was like a Kylo Ren skit with a couple stormtroopers, 30 feet plus, but they were making their way up and down the path. And so he was, very much pretending that, he didn't want to get seen. And there was a young man who was in like the same group of 3 or 4 that was getting like the breakdown on how the thing went. And so the little boy was like referring to the kyber crystal as like a kyber crystal, and the guy's like,
we don't say that too loud.
We don't say that too loud because if the First Order hears us. And whether or not he got that he was okay. And his dad had the biggest shit-eating grin on his face that his little boy was like, it was a story.
Like sort of buying into
he was
it
a little fucking Jedi.
Yeah.
Whether or not his kid was buying it, but the dad was.
Yeah.
And you could see that the dad was just like, fucking, this is awesome.
Yeah.
And you could, and I don't think the dad had ended up intending to make one, but he ended up sitting down next to me, and the boy had his little card, to go get one, and his dad had one right next to him. He's like, "Oh, you're getting one?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm making one too, son." So it was like the dad hadn't gone in to the process expecting to make his own.
Yeah.
He was there to just watch his boy. But I think once you're there, it's like, well, I want one too. Yeah. So you get in, and they do a whole setup where you pick out your parts, and then there's a little bit of a ceremony and explaining what the parts do and where the parts come from. And it's all immersive. It's all part of a story. You're not in there like, okay, so we got a tray of stuff from the back and the stock. It's all part of the story. Yeah. And they do a ceremony, like a lighting ceremony, where they put the actual lighting blade on the thing. Mm-hmm. And Venus had pointed out that when I put my kyber crystal in mine, the 2 people to my side, apparently theirs would flicker on random intervals. It would just kind of light up and whatnot, but mine hadn't. Mm-hmm. So when the lady, the helper, had came over to it, like, do you have any questions? I'm like, mine doesn't light up. Is that supposed to happen, or is that a problem? She's like, well, if it toggles on and off, you should be fine. It kind of just does it whenever. It's just a random thing. And I went, okay, no big deal. I understood how to build it. I built mine. Turned on, turned off, perfectly fine. Yeah. So you get to the ceremony part where you put it in the holder and they put the tip in, and then he does. Yeah, you put the whole tip.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, or all the way in.
All right.
They do a ceremony thing, and Yoda comes over the thing, and you're all very force sensitive and special in your own little way. Now go ahead and light your thing.
Yeah.
So I go to hit my switch, and my blade doesn't light.
Oh no.
And everyone else's, so you can see everyone's blades light in the little chamber, and I kind of, oh man, I know my switch works. Am I really the 43-year-old guy that's fucking up how to build his own lightsaber? Like, is this really happening? And I'm like hitting the switch. I'm like, I can hear it. I'm like, how much troubleshooting am I allowed to do with here? Am I allowed to fucking disassemble this thing right here in the?
Yeah.
Because the helpers come and put it in the sleeve. So I'm like. A lady comes over like immediately, and she's like, she pulls it off the thing, and she's like, and she's like, I'm so sorry. And she was very nice, and I wasn't pissed at all. Yeah. She's like, it's probably the base component thing. What we'll do is when you exit the thing, you take your blade sheath and you'll exit, and I'll remake it and I'll bring it to you. And all the same parts, and I'll bring it. I'm so sorry.
Oh wow!
She apologized up and down, and I said, "Don't worry about it." And the rest of them are all like taking their blades out and like, "I'm a fucking winner." And I'm just kind of like standing there, like, "Well,
my shit was fucked up."
So we're all funneling out, and without talking to anybody else. So we're on the way out, and I pick up my blade sheath, and I'm like, I didn't know if I was going to get an awkward look for taking something without having my saber, like the blade sheath, without having my saber.
Yeah.
And the lady, they're all, I'm sure, like, communicating with each other. They realized that the one dude in the back didn't have a working...
That dude was fucked up on making a new one.
And she goes, like, I got Venus and Xander behind me, and she goes, wow, the force must be strong with you that you blew out your own lightsaber.
Oh, nice.
And I went, most likely so. Did you hear that, wife? My saber, I'm so strong, I blew out my lightsaber. It was
a way to make
way to just make it okay. Not that I was upset in any way,
right.
But it was, if anyone else was within earshot, you fucking recognize that I'm so force sensitive that I blew out my own kyber crystal. That's how rock solid this Jedi is.
That's hilarious.
And then, 30 seconds to a minute later, we're on the outside, and the lady came back with it, and she's like, it works. Here you go. We're so sorry about the whole process. And I, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And
I go do the
yeah, and there's everyone playing with it around, and they tell you that you're not supposed to be goofing off with them outside because the immersive part of it is that the First Order is looking for all the Jedis. Right. So she tested it and lit it up, and I'm like, oh man, as much as I want to be a fucking kid in a candy store and like walk around with this thing, I'll put it in the sheath and whatnot.
I remember watching one dude was. Like, I want to say he was over by the Millennium Falcon outside, and he was just going through, like, this routine with his.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you go, buddy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
It was fun. And then, so if I was to skip around to the next stuff that was highlights, like, so the stormtroopers... Had they ever confronted you or get really close where you could hear all the conversation stuff that goes on?
No, we walked by, I think it was a Kylo Ren thing with all the stormtroopers.
Yeah.
And my wife hates the stormtroopers.
Oh.
She just has a thing about, and so
no bueno.
She's just bolting off, and I'm like, she's over there. I'm yelling at him. She's over there.
There's the spy.
She's over there, and she's like, stop it. And she keeps trucking. It was hilarious. But anyway, we didn't have any of those interactions.
Xander and I got close a number of times to hear, like.
So you hear them like talking.
Yeah. So I'm of mind that they're getting. It's not them speaking, and it's not a voice changer. Mm-hmm. I think they're getting piped in like a soundboard of conversation pieces.
Yeah.
And they are getting like a heads up cue as to, I'm sure they're probably versed on what all the lines are.
Yeah.
And then they pantomime as they get the sound bite stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the lines were delivered almost exactly the same, with the same cadence, from both stormtroopers that I don't know if a voice changer could nail it that well from two different humans.
Yeah.
It was, that aside, it was
but it leaves you guessing though.
Oh,
right?
It does.
Yeah.
Where's the camera? So how far away are they beaming? And how do they pick? It was funny to listen to some of the conversations they would randomly pick around. So Xander had this. He just wanted to make sure that he got picked so he could give them the business about how he was just not going to be told where to go and what to do.
Oh, that's hilarious.
And so then it was, Daddy, when you get your lightsaber, since you're Force sensitive, you tell Kylo Ren where the bear shits in the woods. And I'm like, if I have my lightsaber, I will have an improvisational piece. Should I get stopped by the machine, I will play. Yeah, I will play it. And he's like, oh, all right, what are you doing? When we were getting on the paying for the lightsaber, the stormtroopers and Kylo Ren had come into that courtyard-ish place, and Xander had his moment.
Okay,
he had his moment. The stormtrooper came up and was giving him the business. And I will tell you that my son froze up.
Oh, really? Oh, that's hilarious.
He was just like, whoa. He was like, what are you doing here, citizen? And Xander was like, no. And I'm like, oh my God, my son, he's
freezing.
He's like, move along, citizen. And he's
Yeah.
like, no. And that's all. That was his only conversational response to the stormtrooper was no.
Yeah.
And so you could see like the stormtrooper like, move along, citizen, and he turns around and then they're like, no. And then like the stormtrooper kind of like probably got some sort of auditory clue to like turn back and give him another line like, what exactly are you doing then, citizen? And Xander's like, no. And Venus pulls out her phone. She's like, oh, I'm fucking getting it. And I don't know. She didn't get a lot of the conversation. But he had at least 4 like, no.
Oh, my God. That's
and it was
hilarious.
like, son, you're failing me.
You're on.
Yeah.
It's improv time.
This is it. This is it. And he got, it was funny. And so after we had gotten through that, I'm like, the next time you start getting the business from Kylo Ren, just ask him how his dad is.
Ooh.
And he was just like, oh, I should have. I'm like,
you froze up, son.
Something tells me it would have come out as no. It's good stuff though.
Oh, that's hilarious.
We the cantina was good.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw my tweet. Have you had any of the drinks that were in there?
We didn't. Yes, we did. We did some snacks, and I think everybody had a drink.
Yeah. Did you have the one with the foam? It's like not a Cool Whip, but like a airy, spongy foam, very light foam.
I don't remember.
It has something in it that made your baby numb.
Oh, really?
And it tingled. Kind of like that stage when like your hand or foot falls asleep, and it's not the pins and needles like pain part, but like your
like
you could
dead.
tell it's numb, dead leg, dead finger kind of thing.
Yeah, okay.
And then it had like small pins and needles. Like I'm like, I don't know what's in this, but like fuck you.
I cannot speak.
It was crazy.
That's funny.
Way overpriced, but we got
absolutely.
2 little commemorative mugs. I think an Andorian and Venus got a wood-carved porg-looking mug. Really fun in there.
Yeah.
Just to experience once. And
did you have a reservation for there?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's the way. To go.
And it would have been interesting to try the menu because apparently the morning menu and drinks are different from the afternoon, which is where
I knew that.
We went because they have a Bloody Mary if you go in the morning.
Oh.
But they had whatever the selection was.
We
were in the afternoon, so
we went in the kind of later evening.
Yeah, so I imagine it's probably close to the same that when we had. I tried both the green and the blue milk. Have you tried those?
No, I didn't try the milk.
They're very tropically.
Okay.
You probably couldn't get Venus or Xander to ever try them again.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
They
it was
didn't
like
like
it was like a slushy sort of.
Okay.
It was kind of icy-ish.
Is it regular milk?
No,
Oh,
it's a rice milk,
Oh,
coconut milk kind of thing. I'm sure, so it wasn't dairy.
With some flavoring.
Right, like
Yeah.
a citrus or a tropical thing. I drank both because I don't give any fuck.
Right.
And it was really expensive, so I drank them anyway.
You're like, I'm paying for this shit. It's going down the hatch.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, all the stuff there, really, really fun. Now, if I were to say my constructive criticism,
Yeah.
I was quite disappointed that there weren't more adult merchandise available. I would have spent probably more if there were shirts in my size, if there were more hoodies in my size.
Did you get to all the little shopping
I went
areas?
to all the kiosk stuff. We went through like the merchant stuff in the little
That
little middle
weird corner area.
The large Imperial or the First Order kiosk that's by the TIE Fighter that seemed to have like the really cool stuff. And then way down at the end where I think the other ride is slated to be, the 2 kiosk things that represented the Resistance stuff.
Okay.
Was not. I didn't feel like there was a lot. But
there was a
but
more stuffed animal-y kind of toys.
and we bought our share of
Yeah.
stuffed shit, the little porgs and the Groot with the fucking hat or whatever. We bought our share of stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like if I was a young adult, sub 21, or a small female, adult female, I could have purchased probably $200 in like, oh my God, I have to have it because that's just so cool.
Right.
But being an adult male, it was like, unless I'm spending $6,000 for the Star Wars, for the Stormtrooper First Order suit, or $300 for the Jedi robes, there's nothing
options
in the middle. Now, that's not to say that I didn't buy a hoodie, but I thought this was the more female version of a hoodie. I bought one. I bought a hat because I lost a hat, but and that's not unique to Star Wars, to Galaxy's Edge.
Yeah.
I feel that way for like the stuff that's going on, like the
general Disney
the general
store,
Disney stuff,
like the Emporium. Or
there's
the
more.
store.
It's more feminine, apparel.
Let me tell you this: I have someone gave me a $50 Disney gift card.
Yeah.
8 or 9 years ago. It's in my wallet.
You still haven't spent it?
No, because I can never find something that I want.
Right. And it seems weird to me.
Yeah.
That especially now that, because it seems like that would be an easy deliverable. It's like, I'm not asking you to, put together a whole fucking Kohl's or an Old Navy amount of selection.
Right.
But there was maybe a shirt option, and there was maybe 15 shirts, of which, unless I'm going for something that's going to squeeze the piss out of my biceps and be undersized, I'm not buying anything.
Right.
In some of the stores that were like generalized, like in Tomorrowland, the big store, with a lot of selection over
or the
by
Emporium on Main Street.
or the Emporium.
Yeah.
Okay, put those in there.
Yeah.
They're not there either.
No.
It's
well,
just,
I've spent time looking even at the big Disney store in downtown Disney, the Emporium,
right, and still
other
not
shops
there.
around the
Still
park.
not there.
I just never find what kind of would. I don't see anything that's exciting.
Yeah,
like I have to have
like
that.
the selection is kind of like,
yeah,
like.
Yeah.
Well, that would look cool for my son, but I'm not going to spend. or Piper,
Yeah.
But Piper wasn't there. For
now,
the book.
granted, a lot of that stuff changes yearly, so they have new stuff
Sure.
that like rotates in. But even then, I mean, we go back. There was a time we were going to the park like 2 or 3 times a year.
Yeah.
Still haven't spent that $50. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I fully. And, I've been there, and that's probably a good portion of my. Not disdain, but apathy towards going. It's like, well, I'm not going to find anything there for me to purchase anyway. And if I'm not going to find something that like makes me feel like it's special to me, then why am I going to watch everyone else spend money?
I don't know. We don't spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff in general. We'll buy things here and there, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's not our focus. Our focus is like doing shit in the park and like riding rides and
let's see.
But if you don't get down there enough, a lot of times you just want to find something that relates to you, and if you can't find that.
The Gardens of the Galaxy, that's what I was thinking of. There was some options in there, but it's like when that ride has a store on the exit, and it's youth size to maybe a young male in the 20s, the dad is not going to find something to be like, and I guarantee you that there's a good portion of your clientele that's riding that ride that are sad dad aged, upper 30s, 40s, and 50s that watch these shows, cartoons, own these comics, that would that have jobs, that would throw $100 at a handful of shirts.
Let me just say, there's plenty of people at Disneyland that are willing to throw money at all kinds of crazy shit.
And it seems like they're capping off a monetized, capable demographic.
Yeah.
I don't understand why.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that when the Avengers campus opens and whenever that opens, that
there's more of a mature.
There's more options for
Yeah.
merchandise.
Yeah.
You know, it's like I can only buy so many coffee mugs. It's like I get it. I'm an adult. I'm supposed to be drinking coffee in the morning as I sit in my cube, sad about my 401k or something. But it's like sometimes I want a hoodie, and sometimes I want a replica, Captain America shirt or a Thor, something.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, I'm that guy that will spend that amount of money because that's my jam.
I totally agree with you. I mean, like I said, man, that card's in my wallet right now.
Yeah,
just waiting to be
would
spent.
Get used.
Yeah, it would if I could find something that was like intriguing.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I really want that. That is cool.
Yeah.
But I have the same problem when I go. I don't. That's the reason why I haven't spent it. I just haven't found something that like grabs a hold of me and says, "Hey, this is you." Like,
yeah.
I have the same.
Do you have a preferred Disney character, like your Disney gal character? It's not goofy, is it?
You're fucking goofy.
Wow. Is it a prison?
Not really. I mean,
so you like going, but you don't necessarily have like an attachment to a particular Disney series or character. Like does something like that's my guy, like Stitch or Wally or something?
Not really.
Really?
Yeah. No. I mean, I love the Toy Story series, but I wouldn't like. I don't think I'd ever buy a Buzz Lightyear.
Oh,
shirt
you're not like a Space Force or Space Ranger guy, hoodie guy?
No, I don't think so.
Like Space Ranger.
No, I
falling with style, bitches.
I think back in the old days maybe, but now as I get older, I'm just sort of I like everything, and it's not like there's nothing specifically like character that I identify with. I like the Cars stuff a lot.
Yeah,
and I mean it's hard to make an adult kind of like Cars shirt hoodie thing that's cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It would be like a Flo's diner shirt,
right?
Or something like that that like would kind of catch my eye, or I'm not saying a Flo's diner shirt would be where it's at. I'm just saying it would be something similar to that sort of thing.
I think I have a hoodie with Luigi's Garage or something.
Yeah, see that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
sort of kitschy, like,
and it's car
ish
related.
Oh, it's totally Cars. Yeah.
Luigi's, Cars.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I see where your head's at.
Yeah.
I got you.
The other thing I have, is the toilet paper.
Oh no! At what? At the hotel?
At Disneyland.
Oh God!
You can't tell me.
Did you put your fingers through it?
No, thank God.
It might have been better off.
But I ticket prices are up.
Use your fingernails.
Merchandise sales are up.
Yeah. Can you just put some fucking decent toilet paper in there?
Could you take 10% of that and not put some fashion of toilet paper product in the rolls that doesn't make a Kleenex look like fucking denim? Because that shit is so thin, I don't think you could cut an onion any thinner. And I don't need to be sitting there trying to pull enough fucking toilet paper off the roll.
Off the giant rolls.
It's like,
yeah.
No, and I don't need to be carrying in a whole lavatory bag every time I need to go to the bathroom.
Are you doing
take a
that?
shit. No, because I'm not thinking about it.
You need to bring your Charmin with you.
And
bro.
I've got a backpack, or Venus does, full of like loot from the two kids.
See, that's what
Venus.
you needed was your 3-wipe gym.
Oh, fuck.
That's what you needed.
It's like, goddamn.
That's what we should do. Is we need to invent the 3-wipe gyms. Well, not invent them, but we need to put them in production.
Yeah.
And then sell them to Disneyland.
Just sit out front of, like inside the...
Like, get a contract with the Disney parks to put them in all the bathrooms.
Now here's your wipes.
Yeah.
Because your toilet paper is bullshit.
That's hilarious.
So frustrating.
Yeah.
Like, really?
Well, the other part of that is...
this is where you're going to make your margin. Fuck.
If I don't really want to do that action at the park if I could get away with it.
I don't either, but I had a lot of churros.
Do they look the same coming out as they look coming in?
I try not to look because there's just by the time you get done, there's just a a fucking napalm bomb of toilet paper in there. It's just, well, I don't even know what was in there.
Did I eat toilet paper?
Yeah, what happened there? It got, it's like, come on.
Yeah.
Everything else in this park is a premium. Are you telling me you really can't double ply?
I wonder
really?
if it depends on which bathrooms you're using. Because I always go to if I have to go do that kind of bit.
Do the deuce.
Yeah. Then I will go to the bathroom specifically next to the entrance to Autopia. Because it's a quiet bathroom.
Oh, yeah.
And
plus that's under construction. So
now, it's been a while since I've been there. But maybe they've changed the toilet paper to be thinner now. I don't know. But I don't remember that being the case then.
It's fucking thin.
Is it?
And I was in a number of bathrooms. I'm trying to think of the one that I won't go into because it's terrible.
Well, the one by
Soarin'.
Oh,
in California Disney, the one that's right across from Soarin'. That one reminds me of a really bad porta potty. Like it's always terrible.
Well, because it depends on how much traffic they get. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why the one by Autopia, the entrance to it's kind of tucked back out of the way. Not that many people even know it's there.
Right.
So you don't get a ton of foot traffic in there.
Yeah.
And you can find yourself a stall and hide away
and just destroy it.
It's not that bad. It's not that noisy. You don't feel like you've got a fucking herd of elephants running through there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a little bit of downtime while you're doing your time.
Yeah.
So, but part of me wonders if they're just like, well, it's good enough to not put a finger through. I don't know.
There's no way.
I don't know. I feel like I always use a ton of toilet paper regardless of where I'm doing that.
I don't feel like I should have to use a ton of toilet paper to prevent a pokage.
Well,
it's like, if I need that much toilet paper to keep my business clean, then that's just protocol.
Yeah.
But if I have to like quadruple up because I'm worried that this stuff is so thin, I'm going to get 2 knuckles deep on an angry wipe.
Well, that's the real question now, right? How much are you saving if everybody's using 3 times the toilet paper?
If I'm wadding up like a fucking gauntlet of toilet paper,
why are you making a fist like you're going to shove it up?
Because there's you gotta like you gotta hold it because that's how much it takes.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, it's
like
a goddamn chalkboard. I just want to wipe it like a gentleman.
This is what I'm saying. If you're using 3 times more toilet paper than a decent 2-ply, then you're not really saving anything.
Right.
You're just wasting more.
Right, and then you have to wonder, it's like if we start selling 3-wipe gyms, it's like, well, is the plumbing at Disneyland capable of handling wet wipes?
That shit's been there a long time.
Yeah. It's like, what are you going to do?
1955.
Can your plumbing handle this stuff? Because, we're going to cut down on your frustration of pokage, but can these shitters handle the business of wet wipes?
Well,
I don't know.
I mean, I've taken some deuces at Disneyland, so they've handled me a couple times.
If it has to happen, it has to happen. I'm not going to walk around.
Oh God, no.
No. Well, let's get on fucking.
I want to get a
credit coaster.
I need to get it taken care of right away.
I'm not going to set my whole day off sides just because I'm not going to poop in the park.
But I will try and make sure I'm near one of those bathrooms that I.
Yeah, just not the Soarin' ones. Those are terrible.
No, or the other ones that are really bad are the ones over by Monsters Inc. Those get a lot of traffic.
Monsters Inc.
Yeah, by the theater.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those get a lot of traffic. Also, the ones by... I'm speaking about this because I know. The ones that are over by Toy Story Mania.
Oh, yeah.
By the carousel there.
Yeah.
Those get a lot of traffic. For sure.
A lot of that part over there is like, I walk through it on my way from Pixar Pier to the Grizzly River ride. It's like, do you have churro? It's like from churro.
There's not a lot of stuff going on in between.
Yeah. I did find out.
Uh-oh.
My wife and my son both do not do in any capacity, form or fashion, Ferris wheels.
Really?
I'm like, oh,
you're talking about the big Disney
the
Ferris?
big Disney wheel.
Do you like the ones that
I'll
roll?
do.
Oh, those are fun.
I have zero fucks. I'll ride either one. But I'm like, so if we did the stationary one, and he's just like, nope, and Xander's like,
Really?
Really? And then I come to find out that Piper has zero fucks. I'm like, wait, what?
I really like the one that's on the track.
Yeah.
You don't go as high, but you are rolling, and I love to get in there and get it fucking rocking, everybody else hates that shit. Me and Chandler go nuts in there.
Oh, yeah.
And everyone else is freaking the fuck out, and I'm like, no, this is the fun part.
Yeah,
man.
those look like the little carts in the, what's that fair ride? The Zipper. It has those like, this.
Yeah.
And they allow you to get your momentum swinging back and forth. You could be up.
You're
in
a
top,
human-shaped cage, right?
Yeah.
And you're trying to spin around.
Let's get the thing going. And then it does like an oval that also rotates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have to wait for you to stop rocking so they can let
kids.
you out. Yeah. Settle the fuck down so we can open the thing.
Like, we need one more spin. We can do it.
I'm always leery when you ever notice at Disneyland every once in a while that a train will come into the station, but they don't let somebody into that particular car, and that stays empty, but they fill the rest of the thing up, and then it goes. It's like somebody blasted on that thing.
Someone.
And now it's waiting for cleaning at the end of the night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're not going to take the train out of service. Oh, no, we don't want to do that.
No.
We're just not going to let anybody ride on this car.
Yeah.
But we'll fill the rest of the train up. That cracks me up.
Yeah.
So good time at Disneyland.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I really did. It was probably not a gripe, but an oddball that still seems hard to adjust to for me is one. It was hot. Obviously, it was November.
Yeah.
So it was like already like
it was like 91 down there, right? Yeah.
Like it doesn't compute, kind of thing. It felt weird to be in November.
Yeah.
And then when you have the way that they set up the environment in other places outside Galaxy's Edge, it's Christmas. There's Christmas decor. They're piping in Christmas music. All the cast members are wearing Christmas stuff. It's Christmas.
Yeah.
When it's Christmas stuff and
at
Christmas
90 degrees.
At 90 degrees, it's like, okay, it just doesn't work.
That's Southern California.
It just doesn't.
They don't get the seasons like we have up here.
It just doesn't feel right. If at least during the day it was like Disney music, I'd be like, the decor, I'm getting past it. At least it's like but there's like an auditory response that like when I hear Christmas music, I think
it should be cold outside.
Snow and holidays and like brisk wind.
It's Anaheim, man. They don't get that.
And it's like when I'm sweating my balls off in like a shirt and jeans, and I'm worried that I'm going to get sunburnt. I'm like, I'm not there. I'm not there.
You wore jeans, I would have wore shorts for sure. And then sweatshirt up in the evening.
Usually I'll plan because sometimes in the evenings the wind will pick up.
It'll
so
cool
I'm like,
off.
I'm not taking the jeans and shorts, and I don't have any of the zip off short.
You mean you don't have scout pants?
No, I don't have. Well, I didn't take any. So I took my travel jeans, and but
you have travel jeans.
Yeah, they're really nice.
Well, you just can't wear them around here.
Well, I can, but they're nice.
Oh.
They're like not outside work denim jeans.
Oh, I see.
They're like slightly stretchy. And anyway.
Well, you made it sound like you can only take them like if you go out of town.
No.
Oh, okay.
But they're like for
travel jeans.
Traveling, like walking and doing stuff that's not yard work.
Okay.
Yeah, traveling.
Out and about jeans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good jeans.
Nice jeans.
You're nice jeans.
Yeah.
Let's
All right. Not dad jeans.
These are my only Disneyland jeans.
Yeah. So I was hot during the day.
Yeah, fuck that.
And then it didn't cool off enough at night for me to be like, God damn it.
See,
and all I took was jeans because I was like, I'm packing light. It's only a couple
bro.
days. I should have. Well, in hindsight, and who knows, the next time I'm down there in November, it's probably going to be freezing ass cold, and I'm going to have 3 pairs of fucking shorts.
I'll tell you what. We were down there one time for, I think it was for a dance thing, and it was spring break. So in April, it was like 108 degrees outside. It was fucking miserable. Even with shorts and a shirt, it was so damn hot. It was the only time I've ever been to Disneyland where we were like, well, it's too hot. We're going back to the hotel and swimming.
Yeah.
Because we just don't do that. When we go to Disneyland, we are there from as soon as we get there until it closes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And we don't go back to the hotel unless like some emergency fucking happens. But this time it was so hot, we said, fuck it.
Let's go back to the pool.
Let's go to the pool because that was miserable. There's nothing worse than trying to be at the quote unquote happiest place in the world, happiest place on earth.
Yeah. And swamp nuts.
And it being miserably fucking hot.
That's just too much for me.
No.
Like, I couldn't do it, especially when you're packed in.
Even 90 degrees is too warm, in my opinion.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
It was hot.
Either you're standing in line somewhere and there's sun's beating on you and you can't get out of it because it's just no shade.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
No.
Yeah.
I say we're close to time.
Really?
Yeah. 106. We're good.
Okay.
I would say, so
All
if
right.
I'm gonna leave a tip.
A smooth tip.
If you're, yeah, it's a big tip.
Jay's smooth tip.
Jay's smooth tip traveling to Disneyland. If you're
Take your jeans.
If you're, take your travel jeans, the good ones. Not your Holy Yard jeans.
Sorry.
Unless you don't have scout pants. If you are car commuting and you have not been to Disneyland, like I'm sure you have multiple times, so you're probably not necessarily even like navving. And your Apple Maps or Google or MapQuest.
Yeah. Who uses MapQuest?
The Fords have use default MapQuest.
Do you have to print it out and read it off the paper?
MapQuest?
Well, that was the old thing usually with MapQuest.
No,
is you would go on the website
and then print it,
and then if you got off of that, you're fucked.
Oh yeah, you were fucked.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is that how it works on the Ford?
No.
Oh,
there's
damn.
no printouts.
Oh, weird.
It's just
It's
working.
technology.
Yeah.
Sorry. Okay.
So if you use any of those,
Yeah.
and at any point in time between your source and endpoint destination of Anaheim Disneyland and the hotels directly within like a minute of walking right around there, it tells you if you want to save 4 minutes to get off the freeway, do not under any circumstances get off the fucking freeway. Because I have now been through those 3 sources of navigation things, and all 3 on their own have had me deviate off the 5 to save time,
and it didn't.
And it absolutely positively does not. I am convinced that there is some busted traffic algorithm that thinks mathematically that the route will save me the time that from the traffic on the freeway. And I'm sure that probably makes sense to an equation or an algorithm. But the bottom line is, after doing it 3 times and getting completely boned 3 times, the surface street...
Is this 3 different trips or same trip?
3 different trips.
Okay.
The surface street detour that it has you do is not capable of handling the infrastructure and the traffic flow required to actually save you that time.
Yeah.
And the second point is that unless you're a local driving those routes, there is not enough of a lead time with the traffic that it generates by pulling people off the 5, the 5 being the number of the freeway.
Yeah.
There is not enough lead time and directional input from your navigational service to actually put you, in most cases, in the right lane to continue on the same detour that it wants to save you time. In the last 2 trips down there, we've had to reroute the reroute because you needed to make a left turn that had, 60 cars, and there was just no way that you could get over. You knew that, that's the light I need to be at, so I should have, but there's not, that's a median.
Yeah.
I can't queue up over here, and everything's backed up. You don't know. You don't know that you need to start being. So that's my tip. Stay on the freeway.
Yeah.
Unless you got to piss, or someone has to get sick or something. Just fucking stay on the freeway.
The 5 is a nightmare in general.
Just stay on the freeway.
Let me tell you this. When we go to see my daughter in Fullerton, we come down the 5, down the Grapevine, and as soon as you get down into the valley, the first freeway that busts out is the 210.
Yeah.
And we take the 210 and it goes across the top of town, like along like Pasadena
Yeah.
and along the mountains.
Yeah.
We take that all the way down to the 57, and the 57 goes south and goes right past her school and where she lives. And that's the way we go. We just try and avoid the 5 as much as possible.
Yeah.
Because the 5 blows.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
I can tell you that as much as it blows, I would rather be.
Oh yeah.
I would rather be there in some of the surface streets, which is not to, because
don't get off the freeway.
Just don't get off the freeway.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. Chandler's been rerouted the same way you have. It's never happened to me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't get off the freeway. I'd just be like, fuck that.
Yeah.
But Chandler, I think, had the same experience.
It's just not, I'm like, at no point was I scared, but I was certainly, because it takes
We're
you.
in Compton.
It takes you, it takes you into some hard spaces.
Yeah.
That, it's not meant for freeway commuter traffic.
No.
It's not meant to handle that kind of flow.
No.
But here you have the traffic services doing that, and it's a bad answer to the traffic delay question.
I don't know if that's a local consideration or if that's just the maps algorithm, the maps, whether that's Google Maps or Apple Maps. That may just be their way of going, oh, if you get off the freeway and buzz down the side, it'll be quicker. But because this 5 is fucking stopped and you can do this, but really in practice,
and that was part of the weird thing too, is that at least relative to when I was on the 5, it wasn't gridlock. It wasn't bumper to bumper. It wasn't like I'm not going anywhere. So it was kind of like there's potential. I guess there's a potential slowness somewhere, but we weren't in a commute hour. We weren't in a commute space.
It doesn't matter down there.
But it was like, get off. And
it could be 9 o'clock at night and you're still going to hit traffic. Literally.
Well,
no joke.
Yeah.
That's how awful it is down there. It could be Monday, a holiday where most people are off, and you're still going to hit traffic. Yeah. Literally. No joke.
Well, I buy it. I take your word for it.
Yeah, that's just how it is. That's why I try to avoid the 5 if I can. It used to be when we would go to Orange County, take the 5, and then bust down the 605, and then go to the 405. Because if you take the 5 and just get on the 405, that's a nightmare. So you take the 5 to the 605 to the 405, and you're just like jogging around all the shit traffic.
Oh.
But you're still on the 5 long enough to be in that shit traffic to get to the 605. I mean, it's just, there's just no good way. There's so many people down there. It's just awful. Traffic down there is
mental
terrible.
Reminder for next week's show, because I got another one, but it's car related. Adaptive cruise control and the grapevine.
Yeah.
Fuck that noise.
Doesn't work?
No, I'm not going to get into it now because we would be here for another 10 fucking minutes.
All right, then let's wrap it up.
We're good to go.
All right, well, thanks for listening, everyone. We'll talk to you next week.
We'll catch you next week.
Take it easy.
Bye.